Hi there, my name is Sean Ryan from 2040 and today I'm going to show you our new bird tagging features that we've released over the last few months. To access these, if you're on the 2040 website, you can hit view recordings and this will take you to browse.cacophony.org.nz, and once you're here you just click on recordings, check that you've got your audio recordings, and you can see your recordings. Now there's a whole bunch of new features here that I'm going to take you through. The first one I want to show you is the ability to find the tags that have been automatically added. To do this, click on the advanced search and for tagged as, type in morepork, and you can find any recordings that have automatically had moreporks identified in your recordings. Now at the moment we only identify morepork automatically, but we want to be able to expand that, and the way we're going to do this is to add more tags. First of all, let's have a look at the moreporks. If I click on one of these recordings here that has morepork, you get taken to a new page where you listen to your recordings, and there's a new section here where you can see the recordings with the spectrogram, which shows the frequency of the recordings. The automatic tags are shown as a box on the part of the spectrum where the tag's been identified, and here you can see that it's been identified as a morepork, and if you hover over it you can see that it's been tagged by the Cacophony AI. To listen to this tag, just simply click on the tag, and you can hear that is a morepork. So that's pretty cool. You can confirm that that was a morepork by just hitting confirm. If you think it was something else, then you can choose something else from the various menus here. Now you can see there's also a few other calls here that I think these might be morepork that the AI didn't identify for whatever reason. So let's, to add a tag here, all you do is you just drag around the part of the spectrogram you're interested in, and it plays automatically. And I had a listen to that, and that sounds like it's a morepork to me. So what I then do is I click on the morepork button here, or if the button wasn't there, we've got a whole lot of birds. You click on morepork, and that's now added that as a tag that we'll use to improve our AI. So hopefully it can find that. There's a few others here it's missed. Let's have a look at that one. Just add that there. These buttons are that are shown below the drop-down box are the most popular selections you've made from the drop-down. So that makes your tagging a little bit more efficient. You can just click on the button. If you want to make sure that a particular tag always stays there, you can actually pin it, and that'll ensure that particular tag stays there no matter what you select. The bottom three don't change, but these top six will change either based on the ones you've pinned or the most popular. And well, let's add one more. And we'll say that's morepork. So there I've simply added some new tags. Now there's a few things, sometimes it can be a little bit hard to see this. So we've got a couple of different zooms available on the spectrogram. One, if you just click on the plus button, it'll zoom in, and you can see the spectrogram in a little bit more detail. You can control how much you zoom in or how little by moving those bars. And you can just zoom back out again by hitting the minus. You can also zoom in on the horizontal axis. You see there's not much up here, and you can change the frequencies that you can see by changing what's the sample rate. If you do this, it basically zooms in, and you can see these calls in a little bit more detail. So there's a couple of zoom functions there. We've also added the ability to change the colors. So for example, if you can't distinguish these colors very easily, there's a range of different palettes that you can try out and see whether that works better for you. Here there's, with this particular color scheme, that pop out a little bit more. It's a bit of a personal preference, but it's also dependent a little bit on the type of bird calls you have. One I've found is quite nice is the earth one, but actually for this particular call, I think that jet one, the morepork calls jumped out quite a lot more. In terms of other things on this page that I want to take you through, is the you can download a recording if you want to. So this will just download the audio file to an MP3 that you can listen to. You can delete the file, or you can skip to the next one in your list. This cacophony index shows you, it's a measure of the amount of birdsong in your recordings. So this is shown on the recordings page as well. So it shows you basically the higher number you have, the more birdsong there is in a recording. So you want to try and, ideally with your trapping efforts and regenerating your forest, you'll get more birdsong in your area and a higher cacophony index. We also have shown this interactive map which shows the GPS location that was added to the bird monitor when you set it up, and you can zoom in and out on that. There's also a few little technical details here you can see, probably not interesting, but things like what sort of phone model, etc. you're using. One other feature you can do on here, extra for experts, is you can we've got some attributes. If you know that a particular bird is male or female based on their call, then you can tag that. If you want to just click it again, it will remove that attribute. You can also tag whether it's an adult or juvenile call. With that information, eventually we may be able to distinguish not only the species of the bird, but maybe the gender and whether it's adult or juvenile as well. So if you know that information, feel free to add it, but don't feel like you have to. So that is, if you accidentally add a tag and let's do that, and you're like, let's say you called that a morepork, and then you're thinking, actually, I'm not too sure whether that is. You can go and delete the tag, and you can undelete it as well if you do that by mistake. So that is most of the stuff that I wanted to show you. If I go back to the recordings page, you can export all of your data into a spreadsheet just by clicking this export button, and it will export all of the recordings in your current query into a CSV file. If I open that up, you'll see that you can see all this meta information, and this lets you do things like you can work out your average cacophony index, or how many morepork calls on average you have on one bird monitor compared to another. What some customers are doing is sort of using that as a little bit of a competition to see which particular bird monitor has the best cacophony index, or which has the most morepork, for example. So I really encourage you to go ahead and add these tags, because we'll then use this, particularly for birds other than morepork, because we'll use this data to then expand our classifiers so we can automatically identify hopefully a broad range of birds. I do have a customer in Norfolk Island who said they're going to start tagging their bird recordings soon. So we may get a bit of trans-Tasman rivalry going on, where the Australians will be trying to get more tags than the New Zealanders get their automatically identifying birds over there. So I'd encourage you to make sure we do get the New Zealand birds tagged as well as the Australian ones. It'll be great to get that going. So happy tagging. If you have any questions, please contact me through our website, and good luck.